Quack, quack. What's up? I don't even know how to say your name. PMOH Guild. What does PMOH stand for? Do I want to know? So, the deal here is I'm working on a proposal for a new publisher. So far my books I've self-published. I have two books that I've self-published, but I've been sort of continuously approached by publishers. Hold on a second, let me switch these. I've been continuously approached by publishers to put out something that's traditionally published, so a book that would be in stores and stuff like that. So there's one that I'm working with right now that I'm putting a proposal together for because I do want to work with them. So the concept for the book that I'm going for is basically a modern guide to mental health skills. So basically the gist of it is something about, how our world is like kind of crazy and fucked up right now, and the sort of skills and habits that you need to survive that. So not just general mental health things, but things related to like your phone, social media, politics, like dealing with family members over the holidays. I'm writing that down. Stuff like that. So basically, just more modern tips, more modern ideas for getting through life. Survival Guide to the Modern World. I'm writing some of these down. Stuff I have right now is kind of like the idea of like surviving, it's going to be sort of, they want it to be like an edgy title. Like my books are, my two existing books are the hardcore self-help series. One's called Fuck Anxiety, one's called Fuck Depression. So they want to be sort of along those lines. I don't know if I'm willing to use the hardcore self-help brand for it or not yet, but, they said edgy self-help titles. I'm pretty sure the Anarchist Cookbook is already taken. What else? Yeah. So give me some ideas, both ideas about the title and things you would want to make sure are covered in it. So things that you don't really see elsewhere that you would want to be in there. Hold on, let me ban someone real quick. Okay, good. So I don't know. I have a few things, like, well, hey, I'm glad you made it out of that the hospital. That's a tough thing to do, but sometimes it's necessary. Hey, Matt. So yeah, if anybody hasn't gotten the gist of what's going on yet, new people that have joined, trying to find good titles for a book about mental health skills you need to survive the world right now. Survivor's Guide to the Modern World. Hello, Gabrielle. Survivor's Guide to the Modern World, that's a good one. I'm just writing my notes here, and this is my notebook where I start all of my projects. This is all like course stuff, including things that cross over with my current books. You mean like in terms of the content? Probably. I'm trying to not be redundant, but there will definitely be some overlap. Like for instance, in both of my my anxiety and depression book, I talk about cognitive distortions, like thinking traps. That's going to be a common theme in everything that I do, because that's sort of the backbone of my approach to a certain extent. But that's not going to be like, it's not going to be totally ripped from any of my books that exist right now. So it's going to be more based on not necessarily the mental health issue, whereas my books right now are focused on like, how to focus on this issue, this issue, this issue. It's going to be more about this domain of things in life. So like, interfacing with your phone, or interfacing with, political stuff, or, taking it more based on those as the topics, and then seeing what mental health things fit in there. Sorry, I'm fiddling with the chat thing here. How do I get it to show old messages? Part in my hand. Show Ah, there we go. Found it. Mental health for the modern. All right, what else you guys got? So again, new people, I'm looking for ideas for a title of a book that's about the essential tips or skills or habits, mental health wise, that you need to survive the crazy world right now. Gone with the Wind. I might control for that one. I don't need to give you thoughts on an Asian Nightwing right now. the some of the things that will be included that are like things that are different that you need to keep in mind with this book, as compared to older psychology books, or things like smartphones, YouTube, social media, the political landscape, things like even things like Tinder or Uber, all kinds of stuff like that. What was that? All right, here we go. Survival Guide for a Crazy World. Mental health for the modern world. Modern World Guide on Starting Healthy. Something disconnect and declutter. Yeah, totally. It's cool to think for a moment. And if you guys have anything that you think of later on, you're welcome to like tweet me or something like that, or post it on Facebook if you have other ideas. Because I know obviously it's hard to come up with this on the spot, which is why I'm here. One of the things that my mind always, for some reason, it always thinks like title subtitle, like surviving our fucked up world, 10 essential self-help skills or something like that. But I don't know if I want it to be that or if I want it to be something that's simple, like there's a really popular book called like Furiously Happy. That's like really engaging title, and it draws you in and it tells you exactly what it's about. But then there are other ones like The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which is longer but does the same thing. So I'm still torn about exactly what I want to do with that. Connecting, disconnecting. So it's not only specifically about like the social media world. That will be a big part of it because that's like the underlying element to like almost everything that we do now. The internet's a thing that's changed everything. So that will be a huge part of it, but not just particularly about social media. It's just kind of keeping in mind the way the modern world is changing. So not just things that cause you trouble, but things that are opportunities. For instance, I'll write about how you can use YouTube as a tool. It's a distraction that you need to break the habit of procrastinating with, but you could also use it as a tool for things like desensitization if you have anxiety about crowds or about specific sort of phobic things, or how you can use it as a tool to help you in public speaking or whatever the case may be. So obviously this is still in its early development stages, but it's not just specifically about social media, but just about where you need to break away from and where you need to engage with a lot of the modern elements of the world right now. Let's see what I didn't see here. Emotional first aid for the 21st century. Interesting. Does this idea sound cool to you guys in general? It's not about the likes. That's an interesting one. Just join. What idea? Catch me up. Okay, so again, I'm saying this a lot, but obviously new people are trickling in. The idea is a book for the most important mental health skills and habits that you need in the modern world. So taking into account things like social media, YouTube, the political landscape, technology, stuff like that. Fuck Facebook. I think fuck Facebook is a probably a chapter name in the book, not necessarily the whole title. Thank you guys, by the way. This is helpful. Gets the gears turning. More than a like just gets me thinking of more than a feeling. Fuck everything. That's funny. These are good ideas. Staying yourself. Life and likes. That's interesting. Interesting stuff. Would it include is including hashtags in the title like a actual hashtag? Is that cheesy or is that funny? Surviving the social swamp. That's interesting. Draining the mental swamp. I think in general it will be targeted toward probably like young adult audience. Hello, Sasha from Germany. Also, Nick Line. Hello. Yeah, no, I agree with what you guys are saying. I appreciate the opinion about the hashtags. Yeah, so the idea, like, I basically, the whole reason I want to do a traditionally published book. One, it's just a bucket list item because I think it's something that I would like to do. But I also want to get it in stores, and with the self-published books, stores don't buy them. At least the majority of them, they won't buy them. So this would be something that the people I'm talking to right now, they're a division of a pretty big publisher, so they have resources and could potentially get the book in places like Barnes and Noble or Urban Outfitters, Target, Costco, things like that. And my idea is I would really love to have one of those books that's like on the table at Urban Outfitters or Paper Source that you grab for your friend because you know they're going to love it when you're buying something else, you know, that kind of thing. The digital part is important, but the other part of it that I think is important too is like just the idea that acknowledging that the world is like crazy, like it's like really just like things changed, you know. I mean, with the internet, with the way that you know social issues are right now, things of that sort, things move really fast, things that would have never been a concept when a lot of these psychological theories were developed, you know, like they're a thing now. And basically the idea is that, you know, school and other things that sort of raise you and teach you how to live don't necessarily prepare you for, you know, how to deal with these things. So there's a certain element of it there that I want to capture too. Digital defense. That's interesting. Still just looking at all of the other stuff you guys have written. By the way, like I said, if you do want to give me ideas later on, you can tweet me, and I'm at Dev the Psych on Twitter. I'm at Dev the Psych on Facebook. I also have a private hardcore self-help Facebook group. So there's a lot of places you can interact with me if you think of things later on. So I encourage you to follow me on those. Matt, that's interesting. That the idea of having a mismatch between environment and our, you know, capabilities. ASMR Town, I actually don't. Sorry to say. I will keep that theory in mind. Okay. It's an interesting one. Safe Space, Survivor's Guide, Mental Health in the 21st Century. Cool. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate it. Okay. I think I think I have some ideas to work with now. I don't want to go too deep into the woods here. Nature versus nurture. One other thing I wanted to ask is what do you guys think you would really want to make sure is covered in the book? You know, so for instance, you know, I'm going to be covering things like you know, how to break certain habits with your phone, like that your phone is really bad for your sleep hygiene. We often reward ourselves for procrastinating by using our phones when we get like writer's block, things like that to break. Also ways that your phone can help you in terms of like apps or strategies that you can use to promote your mental health or like your general productivity and stuff like that. So like phones will be one thing. Talking about things like, you know, how Mindfulness can help you with, situations that are social related. So like how mindfulness can help you not, rage at your uncle when he starts being racist at Thanksgiving or something like that. So, ideas like this. Addiction, social media. Oh, social media approval. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I have heard that term mental health first aid a lot more, or mental first aid a lot more recently. You're right. Curating a life experience. Yeah. A lot of it will be about finding a balance, and putting things on your terms, because right now a lot of the world is designed to lead you, and it's more about trying to turn that on its side, and you do things more intentionally, taking some of that power back. Needing instant responses, yeah. Kind of the false sense of urgency that comes along with that, like why isn't somebody texting me back right now or responded right now, that must mean something, that kind of thing. Oops. Taking a break, you don't always have to be on 100% of the time. That's true. I do talk about that a lot in some of my other content, just the idea that there's like this guilt that comes along when you're not constantly connected. Like if you don't know every single thing that happens the moment it happens all the time, there's something wrong with that for some reason. So that's important. Hey, Jalissa, could you tell me any more detail about, so like what sort of things you might use your phone as a crutch for, that you're referring to there? And somebody asked how many people are interested in buying this. I have no idea yet. This is just a proposal. I mean, I sell thousands of copies of my other books every month, so there's a big potential audience that's out there. But as of right now, I have no idea. This is one that it's going to be going a more traditional route, where it's not just me putting it out there and then getting a royalty off of all the royalties off of it. It's going to be me getting a advance from the publisher, and then having it go through them, going through their channels, and then getting a royalty once I earn out that advance and stuff like that. So it'll be a whole different ballgame, which should be really interesting as well. I appreciate the interest though from you guys in the book. Dealing with silence. Sure. One of the things aside from dealing with silence, that I want to include is like what types of distractions, or which types of noise, things that you want to. I see the brain 2.0. I'll write that down too. But like what sort of things you do want to invite in, and which are most appropriate for different situations. Like for instance, listening to music with lyrics in it isn't good when you're trying to read, because it interferes. But instrumental music might be, and also music with lyrics is less interfering when you're doing expressive work rather than receptive work. Things like that too. What else do we got here? I'm just reading through all the stuff you guys wrote down. A lot of stuff here. My phone's also starting to run out of battery, so I apologize if it suddenly cuts off. I see. Using phone as avoidance sometimes. That's a really big one, actually. Interestingly, people who even have like social anxiety or agoraphobia where they can't really leave their house, sometimes they are able to leave their house if they have headphones on, if they're in the world of their phone. But that safety object, it does sort of act as a crutch where they're actually not, they're not exposing themselves to the things that will help them overcome their agoraphobia because they're not actually there. They're in the phone and in their headphones and stuff. Is the video going crazy for you guys? For me, it looks like it's really choppy all of a sudden. I think it might just be my phone dying. Let's see. Yeah, I might have to just cut it here, guys. I got a lot of good ideas from you though, so I do appreciate it. I'm gonna review what you guys wrote before I close this out. Okay, yeah, good stuff there. So like I said, I really appreciate all the help. Anybody that's showing up right now. I think I'm gonna close out the stream in just a second. So really appreciate it. If you have other ideas, tweet them at me or put them on social, anything like that. Really appreciate all of the help, and I'll be sharing more with you as this goes on. This is all very preliminary, but we'll see what happens. I will be uploading another video very soon. I'm gonna edit together a video of I got some video and binaural audio when I was at Disneyland, so of like the crowds and stuff like that at Disneyland. The video is really choppy, so what I'm thinking I might do is I might put it up with the video and then with the audio itself, so you can skip over to just the audio if the video bothers you, because I did a really bad job with the shaky cam. I basically like dum 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 shake the camera with every step. So yeah, look forward to that soon, and I might be vlogging soon again too, stuff like that. But thank you very much. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, so crazy video. Bye-bye.